Good evening and welcome to another episode of Unfiltered and Unscripted on Notoriously Opinionated. It's your man that goes by many names and monikers. As you can see on the screen, call the kids crap. So first and foremost, before we even get started with the show, shout out to Frankie Beverly. Shout out to Mufasa. James Earl Jones, right? So we lost legends here recently, and I would be remiss if I did not mention Frankie Beverly of Frankie Beverly and Mays, or Mays, however you want to do that. Comfort your mothers, you know what I'm saying, if they grew up listening to Frankie Beverly and Mays, because they might need some consoling right now, So if you have parents that was Frankie Beverly fans, I suggest you console and comfort them immediately. But then you got Mufasa, the voice of Mufasa for The Lion King. You have the voice of pretty much, there's so many relevant things that James Earl Jones was the voice of over decades. That man had a very successful decades-long career before he started doing voiceovers, and it was crazy. So shout out to James Earl Jones, who was actually one of the ancestors of Kunta Kinte. So yeah, it wasn't just it was not just a film, so it was real. Gonna get into a few things tonight. And the crazy thing is, like, a lot of times I have a lot of the parts and pieces of my show in my head that I'm gonna talk about, and then literally day of, like hours before, I think of all this other stuff that I want to talk about that I had not planned on or plotted on for the whole week. And then day of, here come all these different show ideas and topics that I want to talk about that's interesting as hell. And so I got to talk myself out of cramming it all in one episode. So we going to find out at the exact same time what I'm going to talk about, because, kind of got it all up here, but we going to see what come out. And we about to get to it. Let's go. So now I am going to talk about this. This is going to kind of be the basis of the show, because for real, like a lot of what we do, a lot of what we perceive or a lot of what we do is based on our perspective, perception, the relative nature of the thing, and the subjective nature of the thing, right? So everything with it, no matter what I'm about to talk about right now, it's all gonna be based on something in regards to that. It's gonna be based on your perspective, your perception, the relative interconnectedness of a thing, and then the subjective nature of it, right? So allow me to try to break down those things individually. Your your perspective can shape your perception, right? And both of those can be influenced by the relative interconnectedness of the thing and the subjective personal nature of things. So subjectivity is basically your personal opinion about a thing, which is often, juxtaposed against um, objectivity. So you're either going to look at something subjectively, which is your personal belief, your personal opinion, or you're going to look at it objectively, right? Then you have relativity. Now, relativity is usually, like the theory of relativity, but it's one thing being related to another thing, right? Then, and then just the nature of the relativity of those things, right? Uh, all of these, whether you're talking about your perspective, your perception, your the relative nature or the subjective nature, they're all interconnected. It just depends on how you use them, right? Um, and so basically everything that I'm liable to talk about tonight is gonna have those four elements to it. You can use your perspective, your perception, the relative nature of the thing or things, and then your subjective thought about it. Now, the thing about all of these things, not to add your own facts to these things. It's not fair if you add your own facts to, no, it's not necessarily that you're not adding your own facts. You can't state your opinion as a fact. Your opinion is not a fact. So your perspective of a thing is not a fact. Your perception of a thing is not a fact. Your take on the relativity of a thing or things is not a fact, and your subjective nature, your subjective opinion is not a fact. So I don't care about your opinion. As long as you don't state your opinion as fact, you can be a racist redneck from Alabama and can't stand black people because you believe that the South won the war and that the Civil War wasn't about slavery, that it was about economic freedom, and teach your kids all that bullshit, and it don't make it real. You know, you you still lost. Let's start there. And your cause was lost. Let's keep going with that. Like, that's quite literally why they called it the lost cause. But yeah, that you can't start to state that as fact. But they actually did start stating as fact, and they start teaching it in school. Like in the South, they start teaching their kids that very thing, which is crazy. Speaking of that, not speaking of that, but education. So let's flip to that. I don't know if any of y'all are hip to this, but I believe it was San Diego County and LA County that are in the process of changing the grading system in their public schools. And they got some kind of interesting hold up. They got some kind of interesting things to say about why they're doing it. So I read about this a little earlier, but here's how it goes. There's a growing trend towards some equitable and standard-based grading approaches. This often involves focusing on mastery grading based on whether students have demonstrated understanding of key concepts rather than just completing assignments, reducing penalties for late work, recognizing that life circumstances can affect students' ability to complete assignments on time, and provide multiple opportunities to demonstrate learning, allowing students to retake tests or submit revised assignments. Now here's the thing about that. with all that was said, right? They're changing the actual grading system to something that looks like this. So a F is not going to be a 59 or below anymore. A F in this particular system would be from a 0 to a 24. From a 0 to a 24 will be a F. Now the way that I'm gonna state it exactly how I read it initially. From a 0 to a 24 was an F. From a 24 to what was it? From a 24 to a 44 was a D. From a 44 to a 60, no, from a 44 to a 64, was a C. From a 64 to a 84 was a B, and from a 84 to a 100 was a A. Immediately, the first thing that jumped out to me is, how do you know what the hell F? So if it's 0 to 24 for an F, and 24 to a 44 for a D, and I get a 24, did I get an F for a D? But that's how it was pulled. That's how it was posed on there. It wasn't from a 25 to a 44. No, it said 0 to 24 was an F. 24 to 44 was a D. I'm starting to think that the people that created this jackball stupid crap is doing this for themselves. Because how do I know what's what? If I got an 84, did I get a B or an A? It didn't say 85 to 100. It said from 64 to 84 was a B. From 84 to 100 was an A. Did I get an A or a B if I got an 84? Make it make sense. But these are the people that's coming up with what's the best educational thing for the kids, the ones that can't differentiate between the grades. What's up, nephew? Man, hey, I might mess around. Hey, I might mess around and try to make it to that fight, boy. Like real rap. Yeah, my nephew fighting for a belt, man. We gonna get into that a little. We gonna get into that on another episode, but yeah, he gonna do his thing. But I'm just having a hard time with that. I really am. I'm having a really hard time with this whole changing. You know, yes sir, yes sir. I got a film that I'm supposed to be shooting out there soon, so I need to go out there anyway. I mean, that's not till a little later, but I need to go out there anyway. We're gonna see though. We're gonna see. But so why is it that everything has to be so much easier right now? I think that is one of the main differences between Gen X and these Gen Z alpha kids. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to thug it out. Like I promise. Like I see all these videos all the time about how like all these millennials and Gen Z and alpha kids is like, well, how does Gen X get a pass? Because we'll jack you up. That's why. Because y'all can't fight. Y'all don't know nothing. Like the reason why if you notice, during Corona, they said that the kids were never gonna get sick. At first, they said, nah, kids ain't gonna get sick. You know, if you notice, a lot of the people that got sick was either baby boomers or the kids. Gen X, we was kind of cool. Like I didn't get corona the whole time. I didn't get corona the whole time. I ain't never had corona, and that's because I've been drinking out of dirty water hoses since I was 5. You did? We thugged it out, and so it's like the debate they have all the time. Well, if Michael Jordan played in this era, would he have done this? If Kobe Bryant would have played in that era, would he have done that? If Wilt Chamberlain would have played in, man, listen, if these Gen X millennial alpha kids would have grew up in Gen X times, listen, our bullies was right there. Like when we say we got bullied, when Gen X kids came home and said that we got bullied at school, like our mama could go and talk to our actual bully, right? Face to face. Like my mama actually did it, 2nd grade. I never will forget. It was one of the most mortifying things I ever had to deal with in my life. Mama, why is you going? I don't need you to come up to Persia. Just stay at home. I got this. Just let it go. I got this. But Gen X is like keystroke gangsters. I don't. I'm not supposed to understand it though. But therein leads me to this next little segment, which I don't understand that, it doesn't necessarily have to do with education, but it does have to do with schools, because there has been yet another school shooting in Georgia. So they don't have a motive yet as to why. If they do, they haven't released it. Trust me, I've looked. They do not yet have a motive for why a 14-year-old went into school and shot up the place. We didn't have that in my generation. Like we had guns. We had guns in school. I know this for a fact. Don't ask me how. But I know for a fact that we had guns in school. Ain't nobody never got shot in school. Ain't nobody never got so, and this may be a thing to where, well, you didn't live in a technological age, you don't know how, and that very well may be true, but from my perspective and my perception, we didn't have that, and we lived in just as violent, if not more of a violent time, like the late 80s, early 90s in Kansas City, Missouri. Man, please. Please. That's what I'm saying. Like, hey man, I don't understand what could you possibly have to be so mad about? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they got to be so mad about. I'll be like, for real. Like, you that mad at 14? Oh, stop. Wait, let me rewind that, because that didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. Because I was that mad at 14. I ain't never shot up nothing. Like, I don't know what, and I gotta look up the, that's one thing I should have looked up. You say, was he so mad about so early in the season? School just started. He was, hey, school ain't been in session for what, 2 or 3 weeks? He pissed off. He that mad already? What is he that upset about? I have no idea. I have no clue, homie. But apparently, it was deadly serious. Cause and now what they say is father is in custody too. Like that's the other thing that these kids don't be thinking about when you not legally, you can't. You 14. What you are a dependent. You are a dependent. You couldn't have thought that you was gonna go to school, air it out, get caught, and your parents wasn't about to get caught up too. So they don't. they clearly wasn't thinking about their parents neither. Because Pops is in chains and he don't even understand why. It's like, I ain't pull a trigger. I didn't tell this little dumb little jerk to go grab it. I didn't know nothing about it. And here I am in the county jail about to get beat up. About to get, better be in PC or something. Because if he ain't about to get beat up, he done got beat up in the county jail for that. Yeah, little dog was 14. Little dog was 14 years old. He a dependent. His parents is responsible for him until he is. Well, I don't know what the law is in Georgia, but I don't, whether it's 17 or 18, he ain't that. He 14. His people responsible for him. So yeah. But the thing is, nobody can figure out why. Like. But is it really let's just say, let's go with the classic, oh, well, he was being bullied. In Gen X times, when you were bullied, you had to just make a critical decision. Are you going to keep getting bullied and running home? Or are you going to fight back? That's the decision I had to make. All first grade, I got chased home. All first grade. People swore I was going to run track when I got older. I was swift. Now, like, first out the gate. As soon as it was over. Because I had 3 dudes chasing me. 3. 1, 2, 3. 3. All of them lived a block over from me. You dig? Thankfully, my block came first. So, I'm gone. Every day. As soon as that last bell rang. Got him. Like, how is Damon the first one? His class is all the way upstairs. And yet, he is the first one out the door. I don't necessarily have to be the first one out the door. I just got to beat these 3 Negroes out. I don't got to beat everybody else out. I just got to beat them out the door. That's all I had to do. Right? So, I'm the first one out the door. I got chased home every day in the first grade. Every single day. However long school was 9 months, I got chased home every single day we was in school. Every day. They was coming up, like, before the day was up, they coming up with strategies as to how they gonna catch me. Cause it's like and one day, I don't know how they did it, but like one of them stayed behind, 2 of them got out early and was at the top of the block where I gotta go. I got one chasing me from behind. I look up the street and I see the other 2 was up the street. I'm like, oh snap. Okay. Always been a quick thinker. Honeycomb hideout. Let me cut around, cut through these 2 houses. In the 80s, notorious for cutting through houses. That's why I threw the grass. That's why it's passed through there right now. Right? Come here. Want to be on the show? So I'm cutting through houses, all kind of stuff, right? Oh, you ain't running this time, huh? So I'm cutting through houses, the whole. Oh, now you want to go. Can't stand being on camera. Anyway, so I'm cutting through houses. They don't see me because I hit them with that in route. Hit them with that in. They juke out, hit in, cut through the houses. I done ended up behind them. Before they knew it, I'm already on Olive. They still on Park. I'm waving at them like, what's up, dummies? Y'all constructed a plan that got ahead of me. Come on, man. Ain't none of y'all smarter than me. So, and y'all not faster than me. So I made it away. 2nd grade though, I made a executive decision. We ain't doing no more running. My mama ain't gonna come up here no more. I'm not doing no more running. And I ain't taking no more ass whoopings. Those were the decisions that I made. First day in school, they come up on me like they about to bully me again. They realized I wasn't running. And as soon as they let me get that brush off move, right in the nose. That was it. A lot of times all you had to do was just have the nerve to throw the first punch or throw a punch, period. Let them know that you are not afraid. That was it. I had to learn this in second grade. Got to show people that you're not afraid. If you show them you're not afraid, then that is what it is. What I didn't do is, after being bullied for a whole year, go back to school and shoot up the place. I ain't do that. We didn't get down like that in Gen X. We fought. Threw them up. Got the ones or the 1-on-3, whatever it was. But we gonna fight, right? I'm not about to take your life because you chased me home from school. Come on, man. That don't make no sense. I ain't about to take your life because you. Whoa. What is going on here? What is happening? I don't know what that was. That was a super glitch. All right. All right, we're rolling. So there that is. So they still don't know what the motive is for it, and even if they find out, like, is it really worth it? Like, for real, it's not. But therein lies another difference. My subjective opinion, my subjective, notorious opinion. You can take it or leave it. But therein lies another difference between Gen X and Gen, all the rest of them after me. All right. What else? I'm telling you, that education thing is kind of jacking me up because those of you that know me know about my school bus idea. I ain't trying to make school harder. I'm trying to make school more interesting. I'm trying to even make it a little more fun, right? And now hold on, because it was a part in there that I did kind of agree with. I ain't even gonna front. It was a part in there about life happening. But they talking about, so there was another one, and I think this was outside of San Diego County and LA County. It might have been even another state. They was talking about, matter of fact, it was another state. I just can't remember what it was. But I read it, and they was saying how they was just gonna do away with D's and F's all the way across the board. The only grade you was gonna be able to get was an A, a B, a C, or an incomplete. I'm just trying to figure out how that's gonna work. And at the same time, I'm trying to figure out what kind of wondrous things that could have happened to me if they only had A's, B's, C's, and incompletes. Would I still been able to play football with an incomplete? Like, I don't know, because I had to have a C to play anything. You got to keep a C average to play sports, period. If you don't have a C average, you are not playing unless you got a corrupt coach. But A, B, C, or incomplete. And you get multiple chances to make up your work. Now, I understand life happens, but I also understand these kids are smart as hell, and they gonna manipulate that whole system. Every week, Susie coming to school with a different excuse as to why her homework ain't done. Billy gonna have a different dog that died every week, or at least every time there's a test. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. They think these kids are stupid. Like they ain't gonna end up pimping the system. I don't know what they. Reducing penalties for late work. You know what? I kind of agree with that. Reducing penalties. I did not like nor understand. First of all, let's tap into the elephant in the room. It ain't like these teachers is the best ones, and it ain't like they all give a damn. So let's start right there. Rule number one: care. And a lot of these teachers do not. I've worked in the school system, and I've seen it firsthand. A lot of these teachers do not care, right? I've seen teachers get bullied. I've seen this one science teacher get bullied I'm not gonna say which one, but in the Kansas City public school, uh, older white guy. I'm talking about. He got up and left out the class like he just broke up with a girlfriend. Like my man, I mean, it was calm. He didn't seem well. The chair slide back seemed a little irate. Slid the chair back, hella aggressive, and then got up calmly, slowly. He was did I say something? He was the Spanish teacher, old white dude that was a Spanish teacher. Scooted the chair back, and then got up calmly, collected himself, exit stage left, closed the door quietly, and walked off. Everybody was like, where is he going? And my dude never came back. That was the last time we seen that man all year, So let's not fake the funk like a lot of these teachers can. I'm not saying all of them, because I have run into some phenomenal Kansas City public school teachers. Unfortunately, a lot of them were black men, which were the unicorns in the school district. Black men cared, right? Now, I'm not saying that there wasn't black women that didn't care. I'm not saying that there wasn't white men and women that didn't care, because I run into them too, right? Full disclosure. I've run into every race. I've run into Latina and Latino teachers who care, right? It just seems like the ones that don't care cause the most damage. The ones that don't care tend to cause more damage than the ones that do. I run into them a whole lot more. What else did they say? So inequitable and standard-based, I don't understand that. That don't make sense to me. Focusing on mastery. All right, so that's another part. The focusing on mastery. All right, so it take over a year to master a thing. Y'all change subjects every semester, so you got first semester classes, you got second semester classes. They're not about to get mastery of that in no semester. I don't know what kind of kids you think you dealing with. I don't know what kind of learning you think you giving, but it's not happening like that. Now they may develop some really good habits and have a very good comprehension of the thing by the end of the quarter, by the end of the semester, however they do it. But mastery with the rote repetition that y'all look, and I've even seen this, the way that they teaching some of these kids. I'm talking about babies. How they even teaching them how to count is ridiculous. Like they just drawing circles. And this is how they teaching them how to add. They just drawing circles. And so I'm trying to figure out if they're drawing the circles, and then if you're trying to get 6 and you got 4 circles up top and 2 circles at the bottom, and you put a plus in between the 4 circles in the top and the 2 circles in the bottom, and tell the baby to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that any different than saying that 4 plus 2 is 6? I don't know. It all seems ridiculous to me. There has to be a better way. There has to be, and I'm gonna figure it out. But all right, so where's the part where it said life happened? Because life happens. Am I tripping, or did I read that? Recognizing that life circumstances can affect students' ability to complete assignments on time. All right. I'm not even gonna knock that. However, everybody going through something. Everybody. So I remember at this actually happened, but it was actually a joke too, and I forget who told it, but it was a comedian that told this joke. I'm like, man, I lived that. So at again, I'm not gonna say the school, but this was in the late 80s. This was like 80. It might have been 89, 90. And the joke was the same way. It was two white dudes said that. So I'm gonna tell the joke, but just know this based on a real occurrence. He said it was two white dudes came into. They went to an inner city school, right? And they had these long trench coats on, and on some trench coat mafia type stuff. And they came to school one day with shotguns, and they was like, "We're gonna shoot up school," and got to cocking these shotguns, and everybody else in the school pulled out their gun and was like, "Hey man, take your ass back to the suburbs with that bull crap, man. Everybody in this school got problems. Don't nobody care about your privileged white problems. Everybody in the school got problems. You don't see us shooting up the place. Everybody got a gun. You better put them guns back before you get killed. Put them back. Yeah, because everybody in here got guns, and everybody in here got problems. But you don't see us shooting up the place, So that's just what it is. So what kind of life circumstances are gonna keep popping up to where these kids don't turn in their homework? It don't make no sense to me. Anyway, moving on. All right, I need to bring up a lighter topic because this is irritating me for real, and it's a little sad. I ain't gonna front. It's a little sad. So I need to bring up something a little more upbeat. So I seen this video today, and it was a dude on there. He said, "What is your favorite black unit of measure?" I had to think about it, and I had to listen to the example of what he was talking about because I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. But he said, you like your most favorite black unit of measure, and he was like, gave the example of like, say, "Hey, I'll be back in a second," and it take you an hour to come back. Like things black people say. So I ain't gonna use how he used it because he talking about units of measure. My thing is, your favorite black sayings that, like, if you ain't black and if you didn't come up in a black household or hang around black people, that you wouldn't know what the hell they was talking about. So say, for example, you see a nephew and an uncle talking. If you didn't hang out with black people and you just pulled up on this conversation, you wouldn't have the slightest idea as to what they was talking about. So it's like, "Hey, what's up, Unc? Hey, let me hold something." "Oh, nephew, I ain't messing with nothing but tools and fuels. All right, hey, you gonna slide through a little later on?" "Yeah, I'm slide through." "Hey, let me dip in the whip for a second." "Oh, nephew, I ain't got nothing but a little piece of change for the petrol." If you don't hang around black people, you didn't understand a word I said. But black people do, Now here's what I implore of black people: we need to have meat, right? Black people, we need to have meat because here's what I need an understanding about, because I'm evolving as a person, and I need clarity on what "I'll be back in a sec" means, or "give me a minute." I know you don't mean actually 60 seconds. I know you don't mean a second, but like, "Hey, give me a sec. Hey, I'll be back in a few minutes, and I don't see your ass till tomorrow." Like, I need some clarity. I only got a piece of change, and you got like $2,000 in your pocket. Like, I just need some clarity. You know what I'm saying? Can we please have a meeting and get some clarity on a few things? Because I'm confused and I'm tired of being confused about these things. You know, so we just need because white folks got their stuff together. You know what I'm saying? It's like they come together on certain things, and it's like they all know it's wrong, but they'll still come together and be like, "This is what we're rocking with, white people," and they're like, "Yep, bet, gone." So it's like Columbus discovered America. This is what we're rocking with. All right, Columbus discovered America. Good, we got it. They don't care that he didn't, and was. Don't get me back on Columbus. Now that I think about it, I should not have used that as talking about Christopher Columbus. Me talking about Christopher Columbus is like me talking about Nate Robinson being a boxer. What's up, homie? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. You know, like hey. Man, my guy Cali. Matter of fact, he was around me back during the time that I'm talking about. the homie was around me in the late 80s and early 90s. The homie know how I was. It was. What's up, man? Hey, Randall. Hey, I seen you with your babies, bro. Man, salute, my dude. Real rap. Hey, that's what's up. So because now I'm thinking about the homie Cali. You know. Anyway, so that's the thing, black people. We really gotta come together because I just need a little bit of clarity. That's it. Just a little bit of clarity, you know, because I already know that if something starts at 5:30, that I gotta tell you, it starts at like 3 for you to be there by 6:37. You know, and you be like, I'm about to pull up here in a second, and I just need to understand that, like now that's what he's talking about in regards to the unit of measure. You know, like, you know, I'll be there. Hey, give me a second. Hey, I'll be back in a minute. And just other stuff that we say. It's like I can't think of it right now because I'm still stuck on little piece of change, and you got 2 racks. Come on, man. Come on, anyway, all right. Last thing. And I told you I was going to try and cram everything in this episode. And that little glitch kind of jacked me up. I'm a little bit pissed about that. You know, me and Restream about to have a whole conversation about this. But where is the host button on this crap? Anyway, Disney. So I know I haven't really talked about relationships on this particular episode because I kind of been on some other stuff, but this is gonna be the one relationship-esque topic that I get on, and that's how Disney is screwing up girls in the modern age with all this Prince Charming Cinderella shit, right? So, and here's what I mean. So, if you look at the foundation of a lot of these animated movies, Cinderella, Snow White, you know, this is basically they got this Prince Charming archetype, and they'll deal with it. They'll come up with this archetype because a lot of them watch it as little girls, you know. A lot of them watch it as little girls, and this is just the nature of entertainment. Now, if you can watch these things just as entertainment, then you can do your thing. But as kids, it's difficult for a child to watch these things and just see it as entertainment. This is education to them. It's like, oh, my man got to be Prince Charming. He got to come. He got to rescue me, and I'm the damsel in distress, and da da da. And if he don't have these features and this amount of money, and if he can't do this for me, if he can't save me, then he's not my Prince Charming. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint a whole generation or generations of little girls that grew up to be grown women expecting this unrealistic characteristic of men. But let me be the one to tell you, you setting yourself and your daughters, if you let them watch these things and come up with these same ideologies, you are setting yourself and your daughters up for failure. Because a lot of us ain't that. We ain't. Like, a lot of us are fixer-uppers. Keep it a buck. Like, we ain't got it together. Like the same way y'all grew up on Cinderella, hell, we grew up on G.I. Joe. We had some shit we had to overcome ourselves. Like, we all grew up talking about we was gonna be the greatest American hero until we realized that the United States wasn't gonna stand up for us. Till we realized the United States wasn't gonna fight for us. And what if you never learned that? Everybody in my generation wanted to be one of the G.I. Joes. Most everybody wanted to be Snake Eyes. My man ain't said nothing, but he was lethal. So, but to have this archetype of your Prince Charming coming to save you and sweeping you off your feet and doing all this. Now, I will say this, and I know I'm gonna catch flack for it. And I'm not even saying so disclaimer. The opinions I'm about to speak are the opinions of Notoriously Opinionated. You know what I'm saying? So disclaimer, I'm not stating this as a fact. This is my subjective opinion. Back to that word. This is my subjective opinion. Men are more romantic than women because we have to be. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk about romance, right? Romance was meant for women. And it was meant for men to be the romantic ones and romance the woman. Don't nobody give a damn about whether a man is happy within the romance. The romance is all for the woman. We are supposed to romance the woman to make her happy. There ain't nobody talk about romancing no man. Like any romantic comedy or romantic movie of whatever ilk, right? It's the man romancing the woman. The man is trying to woo the woman. The man is trying to get the woman. Ain't nobody give a damn whether we got romance or not. We are the romancers. We are the ones that are supposed to take, 3 paychecks to buy the wedding ring? It's all on us, So, and the thing is, a lot of times we don't have a problem doing it, but it's the expectation that that's what we're supposed to do, and it's the expectation that this is the box that we're being put in, to where it's an obligation to do it, and we're not supposed to do it because we want to. We're supposed to do it because we have to, right? But don't nobody talk about romancing a man because we don't necessarily. In this example, we don't matter in that. There are a lot of men in relationships that matter greatly to that woman, right? But in the romance archetype, that ain't it. and it's not it when it comes with all these stupid Disney movies that is putting all this unrealistic expectation in the minds of these girls, right? And then you bring it to modern times and modern relationships, and you wonder why you end up single, broken up with, and all kind of stuff. And that's why, because you had unrealistic expectations from the gate. You can blame Cinderella and Snow White for that. You know, got all these dudes coming kissing on you. You know, like, ugh. Anyway, so I think that's gonna be the wrap. So again, shout out to Frankie Beverly, man. A musical great. Shout out to James Earl Jones, the voice of Mufasa. And locally, shout out to Miss No Mills, Kansas City Hip Hop Week. Shout out to my guy Johnny Waller. Shout out to my guy Kasha. Shout out to my guy Lil Trey. Shout out to everybody that got in the comments tonight. Man, Lil Randall, again, bro. Salute, man. Keep taking care of them babies. And everybody else that hopped in. But as always, tune in next week to Unfiltered and Unscripted on Notoriously Opinionated. Same notorious time, same notorious station. And until next week, I'm out. Let's get to it. Peace.